All right, let's get this show started!
The FBI is reportedly pursuing a partnership with the UFC. According to a recent report from Fox News, the FBI is interested in forming a partnership with the UFC. Trump-appointed Kash Patel reportedly suggested the idea to form a partnership that would lead to enhanced workout programs for field agents. As of now, neither the UFC nor the FBI have commented on the report. Furthermore, it's unknown if the two sides are genuinely in talks. According to the report, both Patel and White are friendly with one another, but it's unknown if any deal will get done, or has even been discussed. Regardless, it's clear that the UFC is very cordial with the second Trump administration. Justin Gaethje believes that with a win in the UFC 313 co-main event, he could secure himself a shot at the lightweight champion, Islam Makhachev. The lightweight division was recently shaken up drastically when featherweight champion ILIA Topuria announced he has vacated his 145-pound title to permanently move up to 155 pounds in hopes of fighting Makhachev. Speaking to Jim Rome, Gaethje made his case for why he should be next in line for a title shot if he beats Fiziev next Saturday night at UFC 313.
What about, have you allowed yourself to think, if you win the fight, who would you want next?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always shooting for Makhachev. You know, right now he's the champion. And we saw with Poirier, you know, I beat him and then he fought for the belt. I think timing is such a huge factor in this sport. With Charles already losing to him twice, him being ahead of me, Sarukian having his chance and pulling out, you know, the day of the fight or the night before is definitely detrimental to his chances. Topuria coming up and Makhachev saying he needs to fight somebody else first. Really, there's really not a lot of guys. And so with the huge win here and certainly a finish, I think they're going to have to consider me. I've never fought him, and that's what we're looking for.
UFC fighters Caio Borralho and Brendan Allen will collide today, but not inside the octagon. The top-ranked middleweights have agreed to face off in a submission match inside the Karate Combat Pit in Denver. The catchweight match will be contested in 2 5-minute rounds, with an extra round in case of a draw. During Thursday's weigh-in ceremony, the two came face-to-face for the first time.
There we go. Awesome.
That's what we'd love to see.
Awesome, guys. Facing forward. Thank you guys so much for this.
Henry Cejudo is riding the first 3-fight losing streak in his MMA career after dropping a technical decision to Song Yadong at UFC Seattle. Despite Cejudo revealing he suffered from a diplopia and corneal abrasion, he is still subject to scrutiny from the MMA community, including former welterweight contender Michael Chiesa. Speaking to Anthony Smith and RJ Clifford on MMA Today, Chiesa explained how Cejudo's retirement in 2020 has affected his recent performances and discussed the positives from Henry's showing against Yadong.
Well, the problem is, Anthony, is Henry Cejudo went on this 3-year sabbatical from 32 to 35. Mm-hmm. And for myself, those were some of the best years of my career. And
it's only good ones I had.
And those parlayed into and while I'm not fighting the guys in the top 10 at this current point in time, but me continuing to fight through those years has led to me being able to still compete at 37. Now with Henry, I was very impressed because while I did just say Song Yadong forced him into a very uncomfortable space, if there's anybody in the 135-pound division that can fight well in an uncomfortable space, it's Henry Cejudo. Look at how he fought Marlon Moraes. He tried to get technical with Marlon Moraes, and then when it came down to okay, I just got to bite down on my mouthpiece and fight this guy, he fought him well. So even with Song Yadong getting forced into the southpaw stance, once he'd go back to orthodox, he'd crack Song with some really good straight punches, had good moments at the end of the second round, had good moments in the beginning of the third. And that's just what happens when Henry gets forced into that uncomfortable space. I think that he doesn't fight as technically, maybe it's his fight IQ that we all give him so much praise for. Maybe that's not on display, but at the end of the day, Henry Cejudo knows how to bite down his mouthpiece and fight. Pardon my language, Sirius XM, but that's just the reality of it. If you make Henry Cejudo uncomfortable, a lot of guys will start to wither. Well, Henry Cejudo will just say, screw it, he'll bite down his mouthpiece, he'll fight you, and he'll fight you very well.
Darren Till has reiterated his desire to make UFC comeback. A few years back, Till left the promotion after defeat to Dricus du Plessis, who, as we know, has gone on to become UFC middleweight champion. While there were parts of the bout that were competitive, it was du Plessis who managed to get the job done with a 3rd-round submission. Ever since then, Till has ventured out into the world of influencer boxing, starring in the main event of Misfits, Till vs. Anthony Taylor in January 2025, where he defeated his opponent via 6-round TKO. Now, in an interview with Michael Bisping on the BYM podcast, Till confirmed that he wants to return to UFC, insisting that the current middleweight division is lackluster and that du Plessis wasn't a problem when they fought in 2022.
And I do still want to come back to UFC. Don't forget about that, Michael. That hasn't left my mind. Do you know what I mean?
So is that you saying you want to make a return, Darren? You'd like to get back in MMA?
I've seen the state of the middleweight division. Like, yeah, I think I can come back. I'm the only guy who really fucking gave the champ any trouble on the feet. Everyone else sort of gets confused by how shit he is when he's beating them. Like, he wasn't a problem for me. The problem for me was just, you know, a little niggle, and I wasn't strong enough. He was just a strong dude. But apart from that, like, especially now, the way I've improved my boxing skills, I just don't think Tikas could beat me. I stopped them takedown attempts. You know, I do see that opening there for me to go.
In a recent interview on the Ariel Helwani show, Alexander Volkanovski shared his thoughts on the potential matchup between ILIA Topuria and Islam Makhachev, having fought both fighters in the past. Volkanovski emphasized that people shouldn't underestimate ILIA's chances, pointing out that he definitely has the power to knock Islam out.
The thing is with ILIA, he is a dangerous fighter and he can catch anyone. You know, if he goes there and he's stoic and he's, you know, even if the fight's not going his way, he will not eventually get it, but he's going to keep trying to find it. You know, them later rounds are going to get harder for him, but, you know, if he was to land, he could definitely knock him out. I think that's going to be hard to do. I think, Islam's a pretty safe fighter. I think the scrambling stuff, even if Ilia's takedown defense is solid, I still think them exchanges are going to be better off for Islam. But you mean you can't count Ilia's power out. You know, them hands. You know, he's going to be, you know, looking for that shot. Them early rounds, he's going to be very dangerous. So you know, to say he's got no chance is silly, because, you know what I mean? And then that's how I've always, for myself as well, that's how I've always seen myself only getting beaten by someone catching me. I don't feel like anyone can actually beat me, but everyone has a chance of catching you. And I still believe that's the case now. But I mean, you've got some that are, you know, better chances than others, and ILIA has the better chance than most.
MMA fighter Philip Keller has been sentenced to 50 years for 2021 murder of fiance Alicia Capitelli, who was popular as a local piercing artist known as Red on Merritt Island. Police were called to the apartment shared by the couple on May 15, 2021, where they found the body of Capitelli dead from a gunshot wound. There was also evidence of a robbery, which is what Keller originally reported per court documents. Keller, who was 39 at the time of her death, allegedly first lied to police about how Capitelli died before fleeing. He was arrested on May 20, 2021 after he tried to jump into a creek to avoid capture. After his arrest, according to court documents, Keller reportedly confessed to the murder. He was hit with a first-degree murder charge, but would ultimately accept a plea deal for a lesser second-degree charge. At the time of Capitelli's death, Keller was a professional MMA fighter with a record of 2-6, with his most recent competitions occurring for Titan FC from August 2019 to September 2020. The UFC has parted ways with 8 fighters, including some veterans with winning records. Cody Stamann, Julio Arce, Roosevelt Roberts, Natan Levy, Josh Culibao, Taylor Lapilus, Jonathan Pierce, and Clayton Rodriguez have all been removed from the UFC roster. Bantamweight Cody Stamann, a 15-fight UFC veteran, made his debut in 2017. Over the course of his career, he has faced notable opponents, including champion Merab Dvalishvili and Aljamain Sterling, and fought to a draw with Song Yadong in 2019. One of the most surprising cuts is Taylor Lapilus, who boasts an impressive record of 21 wins and 4 losses. Lapilus was first cut from the UFC in 2015 after compiling a 3-1 record, but he fought his way back onto the roster in 2023 after a successful run in France's regional scene. Unfortunately, his second stint with the promotion was short-lived, with Lapilus being released again after a 3-1 record. It's believed that all 4 of his fights going to decision played a significant role in the UFC's decision. Here are the top 3 memes found on the internet. Number 3 meme was posted by One Slow Rabbit. Number 2 meme was posted by As Beef Snaps. Number 1 meme was posted by Johnny Walker. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with the latest MMA news.